Well, it is good morning to the radio show. It's Saturday morning, and we're here. And actually, we're here at a location where we've shot many things.
Yeah?
Many things. Right here. Right. And what was the one that you recently did with Dan? Well, I think it was the caliber or reloading.
The reloading
was
right,
that shot
yeah,
here?
he was sitting right here and
Yeah.
he said 50 caliber BMG.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I brought that.
Yeah. You know, he was going to bring out an A10 round, but he couldn't find it. He had it in his home. He couldn't find it.
I think
I don't know if I've ever seen one.
I have a shell from an A10.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
At work, one of the customers brought it in. So he brought in a whole bag of them, and just like everybody's like, "Oh, I'll take one. I'll take one. I'll have one."
I thought they reloaded. No, I guess you don't reload.
No, I think it's like aluminum. The shell is aluminum, I think. Yeah. I don't think it's not brass, because if it was, I'd take it to the scrap.
Yeah, I was going to say, get a whole bag of those, probably worth a few bucks.
Yeah. Take it down to the scrapyard.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much brass is actually worth. I'm gonna start thinking about filling up 5-gallon buckets.
Didn't you tell me that the boss lady where you work, doesn't she take them down to get a lot of money for them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So part of what keeps a lot of ranges going, actually. That's why I know that people ask questions like, why do they not let you, or why do they, are so about brass? Like, we let them pick up their own, but it's just because they scrap it.
I never knew that until you told me. I always wondered why I always thought people were picking up the brass so they could reload it. I never knew it was because they were making money off it. That makes perfect sense, though. If it's really worth that much, or per pound or whatever, that's amazing.
In Hawaii, my uncle that shoots every Thursday, he collects the brass from there where they shoot, because nobody there does anything with it. So he stretches out the tarp and catches it all, and he'll take it home, put the 5-gallon bucket. When the bucket's full, he takes it down to the yard.
Wow. Huh. I wonder if that's just like enough to buy lunch, or if it like pays half the rent.
I have no idea. No idea what kind of money.
A kitty over there. Oh, yeah. What are you doing, kitty cat?
Hey, I seen those little ground squirrel things.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, I saw them up when we were doing the horses. I saw it came out, was running around and stuff.
They're really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yes.
They're really pretty cool. They look a little like prairie dogs.
They do.
But they're not as long as prairie dogs. They look like a prairie dog head on a mouse body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's like not.
And they're so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have one in our backyard. We call him Gary the ground squirrel. Yeah, he comes out, looks in the window, takes off like bat out of hell. So weird. I think that's it. I think I scared them. It's the mustache.
So we're coming up with some ideas that are coming around, and one of the other things that I'm going to start doing is. I'm not sure when it'll all start up, as soon as we get some things together, but we're going to be manufacturing more grips.
Awesome.
We're going to see how that's going to turn out. I got to use different products than what I was using versus in Hawaii, so it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out, pours out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be neat because it's going to be in. Dan is going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So he's going to be actually, we're going to be going over stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see what he has for ideas on changing things up and making different types of ones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got the aged ivory down. So
yeah.
It's good to expand and think like make some solid black ones.
Yeah.
Maybe make
Definitely.
some mother of pearl. Although I don't know, it seems like that part of a lot of people sell mother of pearl ones. I don't know how popular they are.
I don't know either. Anytime I think of something like that, I always think of like Doc Holliday, nickel plated.
Yeah.
Something rather.
Yeah.
Which that's the other thing is like I've yet to own any nickel plated gun, and I actually shown a old Colts official police on the channel that was actually nickel plated.
Yeah.
But it was very little nickeling left. It was so badly blistered up and just beat up. But you have a nickel plated Colt single action, an actual one.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Pretty cool.
And didn't it have a Bob Munden action jump to it?
It does, yeah. So when it was sold to me, I'd always wanted a Colt, and a Cowboy action shooter was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Switched from 45 to 38, and he said, "Listen, I'm selling this, and I want to give you first shot at it." And this was back in like '99, so he sold it to me with the Munden action job for $1,200, which I believe at the time that's what the stock Colt was going for, the stock 4 3/4 inch barrel. But it had the action job, and it was nickel plated, and it had it has Sandbar Stag ivory grips on it,
Nice.
which are $300 right there. So I don't know what it's worth now, and I don't bring it out very often because I'm afraid of that nickeling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm afraid if I shoot my loads through it, if I have a screwed up load at some point, I'm going to blow off the nickeling. I don't know if that works that way, but
I know what you
only
mean.
factory ammo through it at this point, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me sometimes. Like, you know, it's like it's that safe clean, and for me, I just all purposes I just don't shoot.
Yeah.
I just enjoy them for what they are, and some people get that. I get a lot of sometimes I get a lot of messages that are rather negative about that, like, well, the gun's made to be shot, blah blah blah. It's like, well, you know what I got to say to you? Maybe your savings account's meant to be spent. So
Yeah.
why don't you go buy your Ferrari or whatever?
I've had a guy say that to me. He was like, he had Colts, and
Yeah.
he says, well, why don't you use your Colt for stunts? I said, because if I fall on it, he goes, well, don't fall on it. I said, well, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And he says, well, they're meant to be shot. They're meant to be used. And you know what? You're right. However, it is one of the most expensive revolvers in the world. And if I were to break it, even though I could get it fixed,
Yeah.
it's what you just said. I mean, it's...
I look at it
It's a
as
tough one.
it's
That's a
a
tough
way,
call.
like, if you're ever in a bind and you're strapped for cash, you can always take and sell it.
Right.
And you can't do that if the thing has been fallen on, scratched up, used, holstered in and out, and fired a whole bunch of times. That sets it apart from so much.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what they are. That they've a lot of that kind of stuff. You know, has been investments, and you know, and then selling them off and getting more money for them than I paid is always a great reward.
Yes.
It's always been. But
You know, and it's interesting too. I think there's different classifications of collectors out there. I think there's guys who only want the pristine ones,
right.
right? And then there's guys like me who are like, it's got scratches and dents, and I'll take it.
It's character.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when I was searching out for, you know, a War 1911.
Yeah.
I would want
Tough
one.
to find
that,
one
yeah.
in pristine condition.
Well, I wouldn't want one in pristine condition because it's got no stories to tell.
Yeah.
For sake. I like the ones that are like, you know, they're a little worn. They look like they've been carried. You know, it's like, wow, you know, if this thing could ever talk, maybe we get there someday. It could tell you stories. You sit there at a bottle of Four Roses and he's just like,
Yeah.
That's
That's it. Yeah. And make the gun drink 4 roses. Is that what you're saying? So it would tell stories.
Yeah.
Did I just hear that right?
Yeah. You could just pour down the barrel.
And the gun gets drunk.
Yeah.
Give me a cigarette. Okay.
So, what is your favorite bourbon? Like the one that you just now, we're not talking about, well, if I had the money kind of thing. No, the one that you would go to the store and you're like, you know what, that's the one I'm buying, that's the one I stick with.
Elijah Craig 12 year.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like Granddad.
Have you ever had Old Granddad? Old Granddad's an old bourbon. it ain't a sipping whiskey, in my opinion. It's maybe there's remember we were just talking about how there's a Four Roses, standard Four Roses, whatever it is, aged 7 years, and then there's a high-end Four Roses that's 3 times as much money. Say a lot of those companies do that, right? Like
Yeah.
Elijah Craig makes a cheap one. Old Granddad may actually make a high-end version of their bourbon. I don't know, but I don't really like the taste of Old Granddad.
Okay. I thought it would have been Devil's Cut, but
You know, Devil's Cut's up there. That's true. Devil's Cut's up there. Devil's Cut's probably my second favorite to sip because it's really, a lot of people think it's a mix-in whiskey, but it's really good by itself.
it is, yeah. Funny story in Hawaii. My buddy's he's a whiskey collector, and he collects scotches, whiskeys. I mean, he knows so much about it. It's crazy. Like I'll go there and it's like an education. I'm like, he'll go, well, you know, this is what I'm like. Oh, next, and he's like, I was trying to tell you. I'm like, you were trying to tell me what?
This scotch should be savored.
Yeah,
It should be.
yeah. So,
Help me out.
he had this top shelf wild turkey, and
That stuff's pretty
yeah,
good.
one of his friends just grabs it and pours some of it and puts Coca-Cola in it, and like he was sitting there with his, and he just kind of looks over like, did you just mix that? And he's like, yeah, and you just like, dude, you don't mix the expensive stuff.
Yeah, I'm not real fond of putting it over ice either. I think if you water it down, it tastes watered down to me. But a lot of people like that. It's too strong.
Hey, when we went to Old Tucson and we had that shot of Bullet Bourbon, was that watered down? You sure?
I don't think it. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Do they really do that there?
They do it everywhere. I was in last year. I was in a convention in Austin, and I got a bourbon, and it was, you know how Four Roses is really clear, light? It's not clear, it's light though.
Yeah, it's a lighter.
This was lighter than that. And I asked the guy, what is it? He said, oh, it's Gentleman Jack, which is Jack Daniel's higher end. And I know the color of Gentleman Jack. It looks like resin, right? This stuff was, I'm like, no, that's not Gentleman Jack. And so I took, and it totally tasted watered down. So, yeah, places do that.
Yeah, because you did a video on that. And that's actually one of my favorite videos you did.
The one of us and
about
Old Tucson?
About whiskeys being watered down in the Old West.
Yeah.
And there's a clip that you use in the back where they're like literally showing him watering it down, and he's like, and the guy grabs some money and goes, "Oh, we're gonna use that. That's the good stuff. We'll save that for that." So that's what they mean about I want the good stuff.
Yeah. I assume people still do it. I don't know. I guess you could really make it. With not much water, you could make it go a lot further.
Yeah.
Anybody who's a bartender out there?
Yeah. Would you know if it's Would you share that? Do they go in the back and well, here, let's grab a couple extra shots and make one bottle into two.
Yeah, that's another thing I've heard that they do is they nowadays is like Gentleman Jack. You say, I just want some Gentleman Jack, or I want some top shelf whiskey. They may just give you something that's mixed, like a little bit of Jim Beam, a little bit of Jack, a little something, and you may not know what the hell you're drinking.
Yeah, especially if the guy schnoggered. It's like the guy goes, I'll take the good stuff, and he's like, yeah, sure, here you go. Here's old granddad.
Spittoon out and come here, drink that. You ever see that Daffy Duck one where he tries to get the guy, I think it's Nasty Canasta, pours him a drink, and the guy puts on a welder's mask, and he pours all this stuff in it, and it's like shooting sparks out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I love those old cartoons because that was it's before things are now like, oh my gosh, I can't have my child watching this, I'm gonna sue somebody kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have some of the old ones where the cat is like, he gets bit by the gambling bug, so he's gotta gamble. And he goes over and finds the dog. And the dog's like at a bar drinking beer, smoking cigars. And they go outside and they go sit down and they're gonna gamble now. They're playing the cards and they're gambling. And it's like, you look at that and you're like, man, that is just, now they would never do something like that.
Times have sure changed, man, when it comes to what's acceptable, what's PC, and
no, I still love my old cartoons.
Yeah, I do too. There's well, you know, it's funny because there was a lot of like World War II Looney Tunes cartoons. They don't show them anymore, but you can find them online where you know, Daffy Duck is wearing an armband and he's pretending to be Hitler. I mean, there's some stuff there that they just don't show anymore for obvious reasons.
You know who was the first actor to ever portray Hitler?
No,
in film? Mo from Three Stooges.
Get out.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, I believe that was it. It was Mo. It was the first actor to ever portray him.
Wow.
In one of the Three Stooges skits.
Oh, he portrayed him in one of the Three Stooges skits?
Yep.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a different movie.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow. And you know what? I believe that actor was Jewish, too.
Yeah.
So
his real name is Moses Horowitz.
Yeah.
And he was actually kin to Curly and Shep.
He really
they were
was.
real brothers, yeah.
Larry was not.
No, Larry was just their good friend, and the real name is like Lois or Louis Feinstein or something. Yeah, they were all Jewish.
That's funny. They were really good.
And they were. I mean, think about the times that they were around.
Yeah.
I mean, they were during the World War II era and before and after, and it just I love the Stooges so much. I have the whole collection on DVD. And
do you remember they had a 30-minute? Well, I don't know when it actually showed, but they had a 30-minute TV show too, didn't they? I seem to remember 30-minute clips of them as I was growing up watching them. 30-minute, maybe 15, 20. I don't know. But I didn't. In other words, not just movies.
Yeah, I have one that's called They Go to Orbit.
Oh, let's see that one. I don't remember that one. How did they do the whenever they would go up to Curly and take the saw and run it across his head? How did they do that?
I don't know.
Was that a foam saw?
They had to be, but still, I mean, just some of that. There's one
it used
where
to make me go like this every time I watch it. Like, oh,
I think it's the Pardon My Scotch episode where they're upstairs and they're doing something. They're obviously working, doing something, but Mo is standing on his table. They put the plyboard thing on the table and they cut it with the skill saw, and then he turns around. Mo goes, "Give it to me," and he falls and he hits right here on the edge of the table and smashes down. He was talking in the interview. He broke his ribs right there.
Really?
Gets up and does the whole slap across the face thing, but the whole time when he gets up and he does the thing, he broke his ribs. He's in so much pain.
Wow.
They had to pick up that whole skit later, like 6 months later.
You know, a good video to do someday is do some research and find out like what movies, when you're watching the scene, did the actor actually get hurt? Like
Yeah.
Like I heard that this new Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie, he does this jump from one building to the other, and he's supposed to get up and keep running. And you can see it in the video. He catches his foot on the edge of the building, and apparently he breaks his ankle right there.
Oh,
but he still crawls up the building and continues to run because he didn't want to have to reshoot it. And then, of course, you got that one, and I'm sure there's tons of others where the guys actually got hit or really did fall, but they just kept it in. So that would be.
I mean, Daniel Craig is Bond. I mean, he's suffered how many injuries just filming the latest Bonds that he's on.
Yeah.
I already chopped off part of his finger.
Who did?
Daniel Craig.
Who did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how much.
I know that just when you watch the bloopers at the end of just about every Jackie Chan movie, he's breaking something.
Oh yeah,
or
he's
something.
gotten so hurt so many times. His nose has been broken.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, you know what interests me is like, I always wondered when they film a movie, they film it, but then how much they obviously when we see it in the theater and everything, it's been a done project for a long time. They're just in the process of touching it up, I guess, and putting it together and then marketing it, and like I guess all this takes all this time. But does it really take a year? Because it's almost like it's generally a year prior to when it gets released. Sometimes longer.
Sometimes longer.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's Bloodfather movie was done like a year and a half to 2 years prior before it even got released.
I think it has a lot to do with legalities and who buys it, who produces it, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I did an independent film back in 2012 that still hasn't been released yet.
What?
Because they're looking for somebody to buy it, you know, and
Well, you ain't even gonna be the same guy.
I know. I'm already older, for Pete's sake. Jeez. The sequel, I'll be like in a wheelchair. Anyway.
No, I still like your video of the oatmeal that you did once when we were doing videos and goofy stuff back and forth on our YouTube channels for each other before I moved down here. You were doing like.
Because I'm 48, something like that.
Yeah, oatmeal. Well, there was one with I think it was with was it with Rattlesnake Pete here at McDonald's?
Oh yeah.
Like, he's eating pancakes because he's at the age where he don't care.
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
No.
he doesn't care.
No. Maybe one day I'll get to that age. I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? For me, like with my high blood pressure and stuff, I mean, and like, I shouldn't be eating certain things, and I still do. It's just like.
Yeah, but with high blood pressure though, that's and a lot of that sodium. Remember we talked about that.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
can
the only
offset that. With
well, it's like the only
potassium and
bad
like
things
that.
about it is stroke and death.
there's that. Yeah. You know, a little stroke, a little death. What the? Did I get it? Did I get it? It's still moving. What was that?
People were asking.
See, that was like a buzzard. It was a big buzzard.
That was a carpenter bee.
It almost bit my knee off. Could have killed me. Could have killed me.
Remember when we were doing that stuff with Jerry for your 2000 Trek video?
Yeah.
And Jerry was out there and he was doing this. Yeah, he would. People were asking, like, their comment, because I filmed all the excerpts for that, all the behind the scenes stuff, right?
Came out good.
And then people were like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And my comment to him was, you need to subscribe to Arizona Ghost Riders.
Thank you.
Because it's like, that's the only way, I mean, why?
You know the funny thing about that, we talk about this all the time, but I really wanted to make the title of that one a shootout. Because then,
right. Oh, yeah,
you know, right now there's like 900 views, where my other videos have
thousand something, yeah.
But I didn't want to do that because it was the same weekend that one of the shootouts happened in America.
See, in
some school shootout, and YouTube, I was afraid would pull the word shootout or gunfight or something like that. So I made it. I think I made it a celebration with a bang. So
well, like,
but nobody gets that one.
You know, there's a couple of things that hurt views, and it's hurt my channel tremendously with views. There's a couple of things. One, the notifications have not been going out. People have not been.
Gun channels.
Yeah, people that have subscribed to gun channels, they don't get notifications that there's a new video out. They just kind of stumble across it when they check the channel or something like that. And the other thing is, I have not been putting keyword searches in my channel description or video descriptions anymore because of all what's been going on. I just don't do it.
You could put something like collectible movie props, things like that.
Yeah, I know, but it's like if I'm doing a video on something, a Colt 1911 or whatever, you know, it's just like it's hard to. How do I can't put in the description. I'm worried to put in the description this or that or whatever, and then
just do a clickbait. Just put hot babes on this channel.
Yeah, so many.
Girls Gone Wild. And then people watch it's like, there's no girls on this, man. It's all guns. Well, I like guns.
Well, before we end this, there's actually something I want to say. So those of you who actually made it to the end here, yeah, there's actually.
Are we that boring that people have to make it to the end?
Well, I always like to see who really is here until the end.
Okay.
Well,
you realize we can't actually see them.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can see them. I see you watching right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Watching. Yeah, he's right here till the end. Look. See him? Well, I know Joe's here.
Is that Lion Quest? Yeah, there's Joe P.
There's Joe P.
There's Bob.
Lion Quest Fitness, Bob Hartman.
Yeah.
Edward Petty.
Edward Petty.
So, did you see Dan's Rubber Pig?
I've not personally, no.
Oh, okay. I got to show you the video.
Okay.
But, okay, so.
I've heard about it. I heard a lot about it.
Anyhow, also those of you that are watching this on Patreon early, I thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who's gone over to my Patreon page and supported it. I do thank you. That's been awesome of you guys. Okay, so for work, as you know, I've been having a hard time doing qualifications every month. So I'm actually looking into trying to sell off some stuff to get it strictly for work. Block 34.
Okay.
It's a longer, it's basically the same size as a 1911. And for many reasons, one, when you carry a gun, especially for my work, you know, it's just getting beat up. You're bumping in the counters. It's a work gun. So my 1911 is just getting trashed, and I'm like, not liking it at all. I'm just like so mad about that. So that's another drive to want to replace it and get this thing.
So you're looking to sell it?
No, I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's going on. I gotta get, plus it's a Glock, so if it gets all beat up, who cares? And it's perfect timing.
Yep. Here comes Ruben. Hey, Ruben. Leaf blower. That means we gotta quit now.